Hello, this is Kim Nelson with the Joy Design Department at FIT, doing another tutorial in our series of tutorials for Rhino modeling, JD237. This is for the Vine exercise. Continuing on with our most sophisticated approach to how to do this model. Sorry, I'm doing more than one video at a time here, obviously, so occasionally you will see the recording software pop up. So, I want to repeat this cross-section, slowly tapering. I want to bring this kink, or this ripple, in and back out of my piece. To do that is a little bit of a challenge, but not bad. I want to start with this being a smooth half-round surface here. So I'm going to extend this curve out this way. To do that, I'm just going to hit Curve Extend. I'm going to make type equal arc, and I'm going to type in a length, say 5. When I click the end of this curve, it'll give me a 5mm extension. Enter to stop. I'm going to explode these two. Oh, it's a single segment now, so I'm going to have to split it. I will split it with this section. There we go. What I want to do, class, is I want to draw a curve that extends by arc to point to this low point, and then extends by arc to point, actually a blend curve to where I want it to go smooth again. I want it to go smooth here. Okay, I'm going to copy this out of Rhino, copy to clipboard, Control C, in case I want to get it back. I'm going to split this rail, this curve, here. I need to know where the center of this is precisely. I'm going to get that by extruding this curve straight down. And doing an intersection between these two. And that'll give me a nice projection of where that low point is. So, I'm going to start from here. Curve, extend, curve, by arc to point. That'll give me a nice smooth transition through here. I'm going to go ahead and explode that just so I keep these separate from each other. I won't even need that anymore. I'm going to do a blend curve between here and there so I can get a transition coming back up. And what I'm trying to see, I have to look at this from a view where I can see it well. Actually, I think that's pretty nice. I'm going to hold down Shift key and back both of these off a little bit. Get something a little softer. Hit Enter. So this is my new curve. I'm going to go ahead and join it together. The problem with this new curve is that it doesn't really line up with the center line at all. And we discussed this in class. And we're going to recreate this using a curve from two views. So, I will throw away this curve. I want to tilt this so that I can see the full length of that curve in one view. Okay? If I'm doing this, then I'm seeing it curve around on itself, and I don't want that. It's curving around on itself on both ends. I don't want that. I want to rotate it until I get a straight yellow line of selected curve that I can really see both ends of pretty well. I'm going to draw a curve, a line from end to end. And I'm going to project it to the C-plane. C enter, Y enter. And I'm going to extrude straight up. You can see that this actually, if I go wireframe, if I bring that surface into view, it'll show that that is what I have. A good end-on view of this curve. I want to set a C-plane to this. I can delete that now. And I'm going to project this curve onto that C-plane. So there is a vertical 2D planar curve. Back to top C-plane. This curve is no longer important. So I'm going to create a curve from two views. Remember, we need two planar curves, and one needs to be vertical, one needs to be horizontal. Here's my vertical. Here's my horizontal. This is on a vertical C-plane. This is on a horizontal C-plane. Curve from two views. Select first curve. Select second curve. And there's the three-dimensional curve. I can throw this away. And that gives me a spine that runs right down the middle, doing pretty much exactly what I want it to do. I am going to verify fit. If this worked, I should get an intersect point between those two. And there it is. Okay? So I have very good fit. Alright, I'm going to take this cross section and I am going to orient it I want it to not scale, but I do want it to copy. End, 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 enter or escape. Okay. I want to remember where I want this to be smooth again. I believe it was here. If so, this should be, because if this is where I split that curve to blend it, and I wasn't intending on changing this cross section, I should get an intersection point there, which I don't. So it must have been this one. There. Okay. So I actually need to have one more of these oriented cross sections. Copy yes, scale no. End, end, and, end, end. Escape to get out. Okay, so there we go. Going to bring in my curves, and I'm going to start by going right off the end of where this gets smooth, right here. Going to extrude straight up. Going to get an intersection between this plane and the spline down this backbone of the piece. I'm going to set a C-plane to this. I'm going to hide that plane. I have a very busy viewport for trying to get this exactly the way I want it. Okay? So I turned off as much information as I could. Going to do a non-uniform scale. And scale it to here. I want nothing to change here for now. And nothing to change in Z. So I'm going to change one dimension at a time. I'm going to draw a straight horizontal. And I'm going to do it by eye. It's going to be the best way to do it. Transform non-uniform scale again. Nothing. Scale down. Oh, sorry. I meant nothing, which would be 1. Scaling down so that the dip comes very close to that point, to that line. And Z is nothing. Okay. Here's the original section. I can see that I still have a bit of this hump going. I'm going to turn my points on. I want this to start becoming much softer. So I'm going to delete those 2 points. I'm going to grab these 2 and bring them down. Grab these 2 and bring them down. Doing everything symmetrically. I want everything but the hump, the divot in the middle, I should say, to come close to what that original cross section was, except for symmetrical, which it never was. I want this valley to smooth out. Something like that. That's fine. Now, that's not a perfect intersection, but it's close enough. Our surface will turn out nicely. So we have that section. I'm going to orient that. Copy, yes, scale, no. Outer, inner, outer, inner. And escape to get out of the command. Put this on an obvious color so we don't get it confused. So we have 3 sections in place here. I'm going to turn on my slice lines here, extrude, plane, get an intersection between the plane and the backbone, set a C-plane to the plane, hide it. Now I'm set to work with this section a little bit. Non-uniform scale. And here. This direction, yeah. I'll leave it. Except for I had to type in 1 if I wanted to leave it. 1, enter. That one's done. I'm going to scale this one. Okay, so this is the section I'm going to adapt. I want this dip to come down into here. I want it to be something in between these 2. In fact, I'm going to make a copy of this, put it on yet another layer, and lock that layer so that I have a reference. You'll see how that works here in just a second. Turn this on, get rid of that harsh groove. Move down. Till we have an intersection. want something in form. That is somewhere between these two, keeps in mind the height of this piece. And it really is, you know, subjective on a non-uniform scale. That's pretty good. Throw that away. I can throw this away. And that away. That's the finished section for here. Okay, and you can see how I am slowly developing this. Section plane here. Intersection between these two. Set a C-plane here. Hide it. Non-uniform scale. Nothing in this direction. Turn on my points. Here I'm just going to grab all of these. I'm going to move them straight down. Take these two out. Move them straight down. I don't want quite as harsh a point as I've got there, so take those two, scale them outwards. Non-uniform scale those two. Look at the overall height of this piece. Bring those down a little bit to be more in line with this shape. And I think that's good. Okay, I have one more to do. Top C-plane so I get a proper extrusion. Extrude straight up. Intersect with this plane and spine, set a C-plane to that plane, hide. Non-uniform scale. And nothing and nothing. So I have control points again to be edited and what have you. This center needs to kind of come through here. Pull a line straight both sides. For reference, turn on some control points. Grab it. Actually, I'm going to delete these two. Going to move this one up. Going to move these two down. Going to move these two down. That starts to get very harsh and flat there, so I'm going to do a non-uniform scale. Just to soften it a bit. Bring these down a little bit. Not too much. I do want to still have that slight softness in there. And that's good. And I am done. I have a ripple in here I don't like. Analyze edge tool, analyze curve. graph on. See that? I don't want it, so bring my points back. And then grab the whole segment. Good enough. So I'm ready to now surface this. Surface from curve network. Edge rail, curve rail, edge rail, section, 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 tangently, tangently, position, position. And that's quite a lovely thing that I have exerted a great deal of influence over through cross sections and rails. Going to do the end of it. Take my tip here, project it up. I already have the curve at this end, so I'm going to do a, interestingly I have good, that's a segment, that's just a piece of curve that's still floating around. Going to do a blend curve between these two. I don't care for the way this is falling away from the surface. Rhino has made some interpretations here that I'm not really fond of. I'm going to go ahead and pull this onto the surface. Instead of project, it's pull. It's like a vacuum. It just sucks it up on. With a delete input, yes. I'm not going to use that rail again for modeling, and I do need to have a good tight fit as I do this blend. Take a look. Good enough. Split my edge so I can have my 3 rail surface from curve network. Make my surface. Edge rail, curve rail, edge rail, section, surface edge. And there we go. Join. Cut off the back end of it a little bit, like we've been doing with our cutting plane. Trim. Planar surface. Join. Cap planar holes. Closed poly surface. I'm going to turn off all of my curves. And I'm going to bring my other surfaces in. First I'll look at this one separately by itself. See, that is a tremendous amount of control that I've exerted to make that exactly the surface that I wanted it to be. Going to move it with grid snap a couple snaps out of the way. And I'm going to bring back our 2 previous iterations. So you can see here our 3 vines. Most basic, tapered, and sculpted. Okay? I would like you to try and do something along all 3 lines, 3 variations here, levels of difficulty. Do as much as you can, please. Okay? That's the end of this video. Thank you for watching.